In the previous episode, I was discussing about why we can't speak in English. I have given about 5 points and I would like to continue with it. Stay with Just Start, we'll all grow together. Keep sharing the resources, definitely we'll grow together. Fear of judgment. Fear of judgment. People are afraid of being judged. So this also stops us from even taking the first step. This fear of judgment stops us from taking the first step. Only when we take the first step, we will be in a position to move on and progress and see, commit mistakes and learn from mistakes and move on. So fear of judgment is one important deterring factor. Lack of confidence in pronunciation. This again I find it very common. People are not very confident about their pronunciation. So they don't, even if they learn the word, they don't speak up because they are afraid or they are doubtful of the pronunciation. So I always say that it's better that you learn the pronunciation. There is a scope to learn the pronunciation. Just have to click on the speaker button and you get to know how it is being spelled, how it is being pronounced in English, pronounced in American and British accent. So you learn like that. Difficulty understanding colloquialisms and slang. People not knowing the language have difficulty in understanding how colloquially the language is used and the slangs that are used in language. For instance, I'm angry because I'm hungry. It's often said hangry, I'm hangry. So naturally, if you don't understand the word colloquial usage or the slang, it's very difficult to follow it up and make sense of. Past negative experiences with English communication. So this again becomes a major problem. We don't learn from our mistakes. This often happens among socially anxious persons who keep ruminating over past events. So any negative experiences creates a major impact on them and they keep ruminating about it, keep thinking about it and keep worrying about it, and it stops them from actually taking the positive first step again to overcome the challenge. Lack of vocabulary. This again is a major deterring factor because we lack the necessary vocabulary that would be helpful in our day-to-day usage of the language. So not many words we are familiar with. So this again stops us from being very eloquent, being very elaborate in our conversations. This again becomes a very important deterring factor because we search for words or use words that are not conveying this meaning, or use words in the wrong context, and this are in a very constricted vocabulary we try to work on. So this again becomes a very major deterring factor and it should be overcome. So language use is knowing as much vocabulary as possible. Fear of being misunderstood. This again becomes a very important deterring factor because we are afraid that we will be misunderstood. So we don't take the first step naturally. So fear of being misunderstood. Why? Because we are not very conversant, we are not very proficient, we are not very confident, and think that we might commit mistakes which might be misunderstood or use a wrong usage which might be misunderstood, misinterpreted, misrepresented, whatnot. Feeling overwhelmed by grammar rules. This again becomes a very important deterrent factor because we always feel overwhelmed about English grammar. We think that it's too very complicated and it's not our cup of tea. So this again is a deterring factor. Don't feel overwhelmed by grammar rules. Start simple. That's what I keep saying. Start simple. Take the first step. Learn from your mistakes, and nothing wrong in committing mistakes. You can keep moving on, and this moving on in fact would help you with a lot of confident steps that you might take in subsequently and move on with confidence, and this confidence will feed your language skills. Definitely yes. If you are confident, if you think that okay, people are going to listen to you, positively, definitely it is going to help you in the long run. So we will be discussing about other points in future. Thank you very much for staying put.